All right, we are back. What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to our Serious Angler podcast, episode number 177. I'm joined by my buddy and master captain, Mr. Andy Full. I am Bailey Egbert, by the way. That was a horrible introduction.
Typical.
It's an off night for us, dude. We haven't had a With Your Host episode in a long time.
Yeah, well, big news.
Big news tonight. Big news that we're not going to say just yet. But if you're watching watching on YouTube, you probably already know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Or if you tune into Instagram and you're not completely oblivious, then you know what we're talking about today. But we have brought on a new show partner for the Serious Angler podcast, and man, I think we should just announce it now. I mean, I don't think we were even prepared any grand entrance, but we are now working with AFTCO. If you guys live under a rock in the fishing industry, yeah, Andy and I thought we were wearing the same exact shirt today.
We still, you just can't tell with the lighting.
Yeah, yeah. We already own a crazy amount of AFTCO gear, so we only thought it'd be suitable because that's pretty much only all we wear because it's literally probably the best in the industry. We figured we'd reach out, and things worked out. AFTCO and the Serious Angler podcast are going to be working together for the 2021 season. We're super hyped to have them to be a part of the show, and we're excited to obviously rock more AFTCO apparel for the 2021 season. I probably own like 7 sun shirts, but my favorite thing by far is that Reaper hoodie they have with the heavy duty. What is the material? It's like a fleece. That's the word I'm looking for. It's that fleece like neck gaiter they have installed in the hoodie. Dude, that is a cold water killer. Like, when it's like November or ice out, like you need to have that.
You know what else? It works really well too is if you wear a buff and you pull it up over top of the buff, it creates like this, not a suction, but it really cuts down on the wind on your face so you don't get as cold. It's nice.
That's a good point. So like when you're running down the lake type of deal?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Good point.
Or if I go to a store now in our mask society, I'll wear a mask and I'll pull that up over top of my mask. And I get yelled at all the time for not wearing a mask in the store and that a shirt doesn't count. If I pull it down like I have a mask underneath, yeah.
That's kind of funny. Because, like in the spring, like when it was cold, or even the fall too, like I would be like packing up to go to the lake, and I'd be like, all right, I gotta remember to bring a mask, or like a buff or whatever. And I just have that sweatshirt on. I'm like, score. Like I don't even have to worry about it.
Yeah.
But it is weird though, like wearing it when it doesn't have, like when you don't need to put the buff up. Because it's like drenched on you, like you're just sitting there. Like,
it's pretty comfortable though. I actually wore mine steelhead fishing the other day, and I was covered in sweat by the time I was done hiking. So it's very warm. Yeah.
They for a company that kind of, I think they got their start working down south and in Florida, they have, at least for me, they have dominated the cold weather gear because they're bibs too. We both rock the AFTCO Hydronaut. You have the whole suit. I will be
got the whole suit. Christmas gift last year, and it was a game changer for me. Before I had the Huck gear, and it was nice, but it was too thin. It wasn't durable enough as compared to the Hydronaut suit.
Yeah. I've had a couple different brands, and like the jacket would be good itself, like from like your body section, but like my arms would get soaked all the time, especially rain gear. But that suit, I've never, at least on the bibs, I've never had a problem, and I've only heard amazing things about the Hydronaut jacket.
The jacket has the cuffs, has like a waterproof cuff, and then a Velcro that straps over it.
Heck yeah,
good stuff.
Super pumped, but again, guys, we are super pumped to have AFTCO aboard. Go down in the description below if you want to get yourself any AFTCO gear. We'll have that linked below. Huge shout out to AFTCO for working with us. We're excited to get rolling on the 2021 season. And I mean, I don't know really what else to say about that. I mean, AFTCO kind of speaks for itself, dude. They're kind of taking over the whole apparel brand.
Oh, one of my favorite aspects too is I do believe every purchase that you make to AFTCO, they donate some of that money back into like different environmental things.
Oh, right.
So they're a very sustainable company as well, which is huge in today's society. So
especially as a conservationist, as we all are as fishermen, I think that's huge. And one thing too, like quick shout out again for that Reaper hoodie. Got one in camo, so like that is the perfect hoodie for archery season or turkey season. like
multi-purpose.
Yeah. And they were super smart doing that too, because you watched a bunch of hunters now that are all wearing AFTCO gear when it's a fishing brand. So pretty dope. And we have some more announcements coming up in the next couple weeks here that we'll be unleashing for you guys. Some pretty exciting stuff, some great things in the works for 2021. But without further ado, we're going to get into today's show where we're going to talk about a few different things. I think the biggest thing we're going to go over briefly is the National Professional Fishing League schedule for 2021. We're going to talk about that, which in turn, we're going to get someone on from the NPFL to dive deeper into that schedule. But Andy and I are going to go into it quick and get our insights on it, our viewpoints, what we think is going to happen, how we think it's going to be won. And then before we get into that, Andy and I want to talk about something too that we're going to question you guys and challenge you guys to kind of to let us know your side of things or your answer to this question. And basically what we're going to be talking about is a technique that we want to get better at in the 2021 season. And before Andy and I go into what we want to work on, we challenge you guys to reach out to us and let us know what you want to get better at in the 2021 season, and then we'll share it on the show. But that being said, dude, I mean, for 2021, what's the first thing on your mind of something that you need to get better or you want to get better at?
I want to try the free rig. I heard about it beginning of last year. It makes sense. I just haven't implemented it yet. So that's something I'm going to look into. And I'm going to probably buy like 15 different baits and figure out which 3 I like best and then hook the rest. But where I really want to get better at is grass fishing. I can pick apart targets in shallow water pretty well, but when it comes to grass fishing, I feel like we can all get better at it. So I'm going to expand my repertoire when it comes to grass fishing this year, mostly flipping.
Heck yeah. So talk to us a little bit though about like, I mean, obviously you've yet to experiment with it, but like from your mind right now, from the general knowledge that you've accumulated, like what's going to be your setup from rod, reel to line to how you even rig it? Like for someone who doesn't know what a free rig is, like, cause you told me earlier before and I was like, well, what the hell was a free rig? Cause I didn't know about it.
So basically what it is you can take a drop shot weight that has a closed eye as opposed to like that snap swivel. Right. And you just kind of thread your line through it and then tie, from what I found, like a 1/0 EWG or like a round bend hook, and you Texas rig your bait, your plastic or whatever you want to use onto it. And you almost fish it like a drop shot rig, or more or less it's a free weighted Carolina rig on ultralight tackle, like a medium light 7'6" spinning rod, or a bait caster, like a medium light bait caster, something ultra sensitive. I'm going to go braid to fluoro, probably like a 15 to 20 foot fluoro lead.
So you don't have to worry about the hook set?
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
So I'll experiment with it. I got some time, I hope. Yeah. So
I'm thinking maybe a video about it in the future that we can drop on the channel.
Once I figure it out, for sure. Or we'll just do it while we're learning.
Right. Yeah, and Andy and I this spring are gonna, once we can get on the water with each other, and we actually, because we're kind of like in that weird stage up north where it's like 2 inches on this lake, or there's 7 inches on one lake, and then
this
one lake
pond is open,
but it's like 34 degrees, and yeah. So, but once we start getting back to normal bass fishing season here, Andy and I will start pumping out some different technique videos for you guys, and some different videos. Like I think there's one that we really want to do that's like on the top of our list is a glass versus graphite rod when it comes to chatterbaits. That's one video we're going to do. We're literally just going to wind up on the deck, and one of us will have a glass, one will have graphite, and we'll just talk about it and then hopefully catch fish to see the difference in the two. But either way, no, it's going to be a fun idea. But so with the free rig, essentially is like a non-peg Texas rig, but not with a bullet weight, but with a drop shot weight.
Yeah, you're using like a cylinder style drop shot weight. I think something a little more elongated with like a teardrop.
Okay.
So it's kind of got like that spherical cone type shaped triangle to it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what Tungsten companies make one like that. I think Rains maybe. I think Rich actually has one too with Bass Tech. So I'm gonna experiment with weights and figure out what weights I like best and have some fun with it. Yeah.
Are you going like a lighter wire hook, or are you just gonna kind of stay with the standard lighter wire?
I think I'm gonna use a Owner J hook.
Oh, like a
light wire J hook.
Okay.
So the J hook essentially is a worm hook that Owner designed with like an EWG style gap to it.
Okay.
So it's a round bend hook, but it's got more of an EWG.
I like it.
It's the hook I use for my Senko fishing when I flip Senkos.
Right. Yeah, it just gives it a little bit more of an increased fall rate, especially. I mean, what are you thinking of throwing? Like a 1/16? So I got 3/16, 3/8. Like, if you want to give up that juice.
I'll probably
experiment.
I'll probably go somewhere between 1/4 to 1/2, depending on where I'm fishing.
Right. Okay. Cool.
I don't think it goes super finessey with it because my understanding is with like a Carolina rig, right? When they eat it, they essentially the bait's floating up behind the Carolina rig. Usually it'd be like a float amount of liters, so that bait's floating. So when they eat it and they start to move, usually that line just kind of free flows out. So I think that's the same essentially what the free rig is. When they eat that bait, it's going to pull out so they don't feel that tension or resistance, and then you hit them.
So, like, are you going to try like Z-Man plastics then, so that it has an additional float up, or like a Demiki air crawler or something like that has like those floating like claws to them? I'm
gonna take some of my JDM plastics. I think like the expensive stuff and mess with it, like the OSPs or like some of those things that we have laying around that I use for other niche situations. I think those are going to be dynamite on the free rig. It's not something I'm going to do all the time, just in certain situations.
So basically you're saying you're just going to use the juice and tell me to shut up and stop talking about it.
Oh, I don't care. I mean, I'll talk about the juice. Most people won't pay $10 to $15 for a pack of plastics that have 6 baits in it. I will because they catch fish. Right. So, this is fair. But I use them for very specific situations. Right. I'm not going out there and drop shotting with a $13 soft plastic bait in Lake Erie. There's no reason to. But there are times where I'm doing something on Lake Erie where I will use them.
Interesting. That would be cool to witness. I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff I don't talk about, but I know if we're doing this,
like any angler, yeah,
and I'm going to be guiding, I'm probably going to have to talk about it more. So let's go.
Especially because you're running a one-on-one exclusive sessions now as part of your services. So if somebody asks you about it, pay up, buddy.
Yep, exactly. So if you want to know, show me the money.
Show me the money.
I might be a nobody, but I have tricks up my sleeve.
Andy is very, very dialed into getting very, very creative is what I've noticed since Andy and I have become friends. Is he's very, very creative. Like you take stuff that's super popular, he'll find a way to make it something that you've never heard of. And you're like, what the hell are you talking about, dude?
I think I impressed Epic Eric that one time when I was like, you have decoy hooks. And he's like, how did you see that?
Well, yeah, I also was like, what the hell are you talking about? Like,
you're like, what are decoy hooks?
You're talking like you see everything. I couldn't see a damn behind him. So you meant packaging, but it was like, it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. Like I've talked to Andy before, like I am horrible when it comes to these baits that, when it comes to balsa, models or JDM plastics, JDM crankbaits, JDM anything anything JDM I suck at. Huge gap of knowledge. Hopefully something that I can change in 2021. There's another thing.
I have one more thing I want to get better at.
Okay.
And I used to be pretty decent at is jerkbait fishing. So random plug here real fast. About an hour ago, I was watching jerkbait videos on YouTube and I came across Ben Kohler, the Hookup Tackle. And on YouTube, he went through the entire Megabass jerkbait line in the
all
action.
1,000.
What?
All 1,000 colors?
No, just like from the 110 to the 110 high float to the 110 silent to the 110 +1, +2, 1 plus, was it the 95, the X80 trick darter. There's like 15 different Megabass jerkbaits.
I knew about 3 of those.
And they all have specific actions. There's the Ito Shiner, which is virtually a wider, quicker action, almost like an LC pointer of the Megabass line. So it's got that more crisp, hard dart to it, as where the Megabass 110, speaking of which, I just realized today I've been fishing it wrong the whole time by watching that video. So I am excited to take what I learned from that and implement it when I'm on the water.
Nice.
Yeah.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
So all the time you're trying to give me jerkbait pointers, and you learn something new that you're doing wrong.
So no, here's the thing that I learned though. The rod was right. I'm using the right type of rod in the right type of rod.
Anybody's trying to tell me I'm wrong about rods, which usually I am, but
I was. When I fish a jerkbait, I fish it fast and hard usually. And that's where I've learned that I should not be doing it with a 110.
I've told you. You're just knocking slack.
Knocking slack.
That's what Nick mentioned too in the jerkbait episode we did with him. All you gotta do is just knock that slack. You're not even really getting. You're not even really getting a lot.
Your rod goes like this every time you knock it.
Yeah, you're just. I mean, because like if you're doing it right, your hand's not going to get sore that quick.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're really cranking at that jerkbait and you're knocking that down, I mean, you're going to get sore pretty damn fast. But if you're just simply knocking slack, almost kind of like you're walking a spook, that's how you're supposed to work it. So I was correcting how you work it. You were correcting on the rod, and now we're just kind of joining forces. Wow, look at us.
That is for the
Dude, I think for me.
Yeah, how about you?
And yeah, the one thing I really want to learn, because I think it has a place everywhere, it's just probably one of the baits that not a lot of people throw because it's viewed it's used in a whole different side of fishing. I want to say it's more of a striper bait, but it is used on like ledges and stuff. But I think it could have a bigger application in certain areas, and that is I want to be throwing a hair jig for largemouth.
I knew you were going hair jig. I just knew it.
Yeah.
You gotta get some of those Outcast chicken rigs.
I'm looking into some different things. I think what I need to really hone in on is rod. Because from my perception is you want like a 7.6, but it's like more like a medium. But there's like a mixture between like a medium or a medium heavy. I gotta dial that in and figure out which one I'm gonna rock with. Because I have both. I think I'll try throwing it on both.
You know what rod would be perfect for this, and you're gonna hate me. X Matrix 755.
Your favorite rod in the world.
I bet you that would be a dynamite chicken rig rod.
You go try it and you tell me, and then I'll get one.
I've never tried it, so.
But yeah, I just think there's so many different applications where, like so many guys are going down a bank or going down a grass line, especially a deep grass line, and they're throwing a chatterbait, they're throwing a swim bait, like a single swim bait. Excuse me. They're throwing an A-rig, they're throwing a spinner bait, throwing a jerk bait, whatever it is. But like no one's throwing a hair jig. I feel like a hair jig is perceived as either this small, tiny little hair jig used up north for smallmouth, or it's something that's like an ounce that you're using on ledges.
So I have a feeling I know why it's so good in Minnesota and some of those other lakes up north. I don't know if it will apply to New York.
We won't know until you try it. I mean, look at Jordan Lee. He won freaking a crap ton of money in Florida on a freaking hair jig.
Well, here's the thing. I think Florida has golden shiners or a bait fish that's similar. We don't have that in New York for the most part.
Well, let me just give you a little update. I caught 2 golden shiners through the ice the other day. So we do have golden shiners. Golden shiners are in a lot of the Finger Lakes.
Hmm.
To be completely frank with you.
Okay.
I believe they're also called Rudd. So maybe I'm mixing them up though. I could be entirely
a Rudd is a moon eye, I do believe. It's a completely different bait fish. Yeah. I believe
but they're very, very, very similar.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'm wrong then. Maybe they're not the same. So maybe I'm confusing them with Rudd. But either way, they look identical, so I feel like that application should still work. I think that needs to be put into application and see how it works. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking at it now.
Yeah. I just feel like there's a lot of different bait fish, and I don't think anybody's going to get pissed at me for saying this, but like there's a lot of bait fish that people don't really focus on. I mean, that could be said around the country that bass are eating that no one's really trying to dial in or mimic. And I think that's something that can obviously set you apart because like the more pressure, I mean, we saw the increase in pressure this year. I'm trying to see. What's that bottom one?
Golden shiner.
Bottom one's a golden shiner. So what's the one?
Yeah.
Is that a Rudd? So Rudds are a little bit taller. I can't really see color-wise because of the lighting, but color-wise, though, do they look the same?
The Rudd is going to have big, bright red fins, orange fins. Right. And then the golden shiner is more yellow.
Oh, man.
No red.
Savage Gear makes a really good glide bait for that. That Shine Glide, they have one like in the perfect. It might actually be a golden shiner colorway, to be honest. But
so the males will get red in them when they're spawning, but it's the anal fin.
Interesting. Well, see, I wasn't looking at throwing red for these hair jigs, though.
I know. I know what color you're going, and I just won't say it.
I'll leave that to the imagination.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna experiment with a few, but either way, I'm excited to try it because I think it's like I don't know.
I just hate the fact that it's $15 for a piece of hair.
I might experiment making my own, quite frankly, because I feel like obviously jig head is important, hook is very important, but like it ain't hard to tie hair to a jig.
The length of hair and how it's articulated on the body, though, is the most important part.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to experiment with going naked with it, right? Just going just that hair, and I'm going to experiment with putting like a fluke style bait on it. Because I feel like both have their place.
That'll work.
Like if I'm feeling like I'm getting short striked, I'll slap on a fluke or something. That way it's something from the pinpoint. I know. Something different.
Yeah. I can get down with that.
Yeah, heck yeah. It's I know every year is a learning year, but this year is a learning year on steroids for me.
And we're gonna have some fun doing it.
Oh heck yeah. Heck yeah. I got half my schedule that's pretty much just competition, just going out there to win. And then the other half is like just trying to take as much information I can and receive that information as possible. Yeah, I mean, like just fishing the opens, traveling the opens, that's going to be a lot of fun with Destin. Going to learn a crap ton from him. And just got confirmation that I can travel down with him to Texas for pre-practice.
Because you've never been there.
Yeah. So, yeah, I made sure, he made sure he contacted Bass and got confirmation that, it's all legal, all kosher, that I can go to Texas with him because I've never been there, which is why. So, like, I wouldn't be able to pre-practice with him up here in New York, like on St. Lawrence or Champlain, because I've been there. So that's basically how that's going to go. But it's going to be cool because I'm going to learn a lot about the fisheries down there. It's going to be Lake Fork during the spawn, so hopefully I catch PB. That'll be magnificent. But I know I'm going to learn a lot from him and taking as much as I can and get some good media coverage for him too, which would be pretty sweet. So media business is starting to gain some traction, which is a plus side.
Yeah. Make sure you hit up Bailey. He is fantastic at what he does. Obviously.
I wouldn't say fantastic, but I am on the rise. I would say confidently gaining skills every day. How about that? Because you look at some of those guys out there that are ridiculous at what they do. Like talking to Samuel Moore today, who we've had on the show, absolute freaking wizard with anything camera, social media. The creativity of his brain's ridiculous. Cal Van Ever's another insane one. Travis and Tanner Lyons are bonkers. Alex Blackwell, who does stuff for John B. at the Guggen Squad, like, who, if anybody's interested in that sort of thing, we've done podcasts with them to learn their stories and what they do. So go check those out. But like, I was talking to Sam today, and it's like, dude, like, I feel confident about what I do, but I look at you, and it's like I have a long way to go. But it's
seat time. It's like anything else. The more seat time you have, the more you divulge and grow in your role, the better you're going to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of like fishing. You can never really stop learning because it's such an innovative thing. Technology is so innovative that it's always changing. So you almost have to be changing with the curve. And if you're not, you'll be left behind. The next kid will take over. So
right. Yeah. That's just one of those things. Just constantly learning as much as I can. I mean, but I think it's cool. And I'm gonna self-boast for a second here, which feels weird, but I want to. So out there is like, I'm also doing website design, which is awesome because I haven't done coding in years, but I used to be like pretty passionate about coding. You know, little shout out to my old nerd self. But also I'm doing, and there's some things in the works. They're not 100% yet, and I can't talk about it. But I do offer podcast producing as part of my service, and we are in the works with something. Don't know if it's going to happen. So if anyone's curious, I can't tell you anything, and it might not ever happen. You might never hear it, but if it does, it's probably going to be pretty big and pretty freaking sweet. Stay half tuned for that. I don't really. I'll announce it if it ever comes to fruition. But it's going to be
fair enough.
Yeah. But dude, I think what we're going to do now is we're going to not translate. Good grief, it's getting late for us. We're going to transfer over to the NPFL schedule and talk about that. Our predictions. I couldn't tell you who's going to win it because I don't know the entire schedule. I know Joe Willert, Greg Mansfield, and Jacob Porosnik. Am I missing anybody? I don't know anybody else, I don't think.
Is Porosnik confirmed?
I thought he was. I thought they posted about him. I could be entirely wrong, which if I am, I extremely apologize. Are you checking their page? Okay. I could be entirely wrong, which I probably am, but I've heard I thought it was I could have sworn it was posted. They do a lot of angler spotlights. But let me share screen over here. Get this schedule up for the folks watching. If you guys are watching, we'll bring this up here. And they have the schedule. See if I can blow this up for everybody. So it's a little more zoomed in. And maybe not that much. Get rid of, there we go. So first stop in March 11th to 13th is on Lake Eufaula, which I think could be a straight slugfest. Probably just heat of pre-spawn then, I would imagine.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that. Or right in the middle of the spawn. That's
you think? Does Alabama spawn that early?
Yeah. Eufaula, I feel like, is like southern Bama.
Yeah, because we were that's around the time the Classic was last year when we were at Gunnersville, and I was down for that one, and it was straight pre-spawn. Jerk baits and red traps and chatterbaits.
At Eufaula?
That was on Gunnersville.
Well, see, that's the difference, though. Eufaula, I believe.
But is it that big of a difference, though, where those fish on Eufaula are going to be on beds when Gunnersville is on a completely different stage?
Could be.
Is that more south?
More, yeah. I mean, Eufaula is almost the Florida line.
So I didn't realize Eufaula was that more south.
Yeah, it's on the same river system as, was it the Chattahoochee River? So I believe is what dumps into Eufaula. It goes from Eufaula to Seminole on its way to the ocean.
Let's see if there's any other names in here real quick. Before we continue the schedule, I want to see if there's any other names we recognize here. I didn't realize Eric Jackson was in the NPFL.
Mm-hmm.
He was I believe he's the former owner of Jackson, or might be still co-owner. I'm not sure how that deal worked out. But yeah, Greg Mansfield, who we're hoping to get on the show here soon. Is Jeff Dobson related to Scott Dobson?
I'm not sure.
I'm going to send Scott a message after here and ask him. Joe Willert. Probably going to steal a lot of people's money this year. I don't know any of these other names. Oh, there's no Porosnik. So there you go. I apologize. I was wrong.
Yeah, I didn't think he was announced. I know there's one of those guys is moving over. We just don't know who yet. I'm assuming it's Porosnik.
Well, if he is, I mean, it'd be great to get him on, talk about the switch for him, see what his goals are. But next up on the list, what's that?
Who knows about Wright?
I've never heard of it ever, but I've heard. I will say this: I'm excited, and I hope there's coverage of that, just because for the pure fact I've never heard of it, and I want to see what it's like.
Yeah,
I'm excited for that, and I think that was a good move on NPFL's point from moving to a lake that no one's heard of, because I feel like that's going to bring in attention.
Mm-hmm.
But Harris Chain in June, I have no idea about Florida in June, to be honest with you, because I thought Florida was like best in February, March.
Yeah, that's going to be summer pattern.
Straight grass.
Frogging, flipping, punching, chatterbugging, speed trap, speed worm.
What is it? The gold shad or something like that trap that everybody throws on there.
Yeah, it's like there's like four baits you need: a frog, a black and blue chatterbait, a gold trap, and a June bug speed worm.
Right.
Florida.
Let's see.
I can go there at 0, but I know what to use.
Right. That's going to be one punch in, I'm going to guess. That's my prediction.
Yeah, anybody who's from Florida in that trail in June will probably have the best chance.
Right. Let's see. Let's backtrack real quick. Do quick predictions here because we didn't do it for Lake Eufaula or Wright Patman. But Lake Eufaula, I'm just going to go at it just because of Buddy Gross.
It's a 4-day trail, right?
But what's that?
It's a 4-day trail, right? Or is it 3-day?
I have no idea. That's a great point.
11, 12, 13. So 3-day.
11, 12. Okay, so 3 days. I'm just going to assume it's going to be one on bed. So I'm going to go Texas rig. I think that's pretty straightforward. Or Senko.
If it's pre-spawn, it'll be probably like a spinnerbait or a chatterbait. I know a chatterbait dominates Lake Eufaula pre-spawn. So, because it's a grass lake.
Right. Right, Patman, that's probably going to be spawn.
Oh, yeah. That's dead spawn. So, Texas rig.
Oh, wait. So maybe when I'm going down there to Lake Fork with Destin, then Texas is probably going to be pre-spawn, not spawn.
It's going to be popping.
Oh, I'm going to slap a big old mag draft on. I ain't putting that puppy down. I'm going big or I'm going home. And that's going to be it. 30-pound fluorocarbon. Yeah, we're swinging for the fences now. But let's see. Pickwick Lake in July, ledge. It's going to be straight ledge fishing. And I'm going to go crap. I don't even know the name of the jig head, but a Castaic. What is the name of the shad? But basically just a
jerky J. A jerky J.
Yes. It's going to be one of jerky J.
A scrounger and a jerky J.
The old Jason Lambert special.
Could be.
What about you? What's your take?
I'm going to go hair jig.
Hair jig? Oh, okay.
It's going to be a mix of a crankbait and a hair jig. The old KVD special.
Yeah. I like it. And Lake Winnebago on August 19th to 21st.
Everything I've heard about Lake Winnebago is that it sucks.
Yeah. Tiny fishery.
Massive lake, tiny fishery.
Interesting. I thought Winnebago was that tiny one that MLF went to.
No, I'm pretty sure Winnebago is like massive. Hold on. Yeah.
Is it?
Lake Winnebago that's Lake Winnebago. The cursor's on it. It's big.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh.
But there's the chart mapping on it is horrible. I guess there's like reefs everywhere.
It's a smallmouth fishery, isn't it?
Both.
Isn't it a shallow? Because it's a shallow lake, I believe.
It's very shallow, like only like 20 foot deep.
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be one on just structure. Then I'm gonna assume maybe if there's laydowns, flipping a jig on laydowns, it's probably it. That's what I'm gonna go with. I don't know what else besides spinnerbait or cranking.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I know nothing about Lake Winnebago besides there's horrible mapping. It's massive. And if the wind blows north, south, east, or west, it's going to be rough because there's nowhere to hide. So good luck to those guys.
Yeah. And the last one, besides the championship, which is to be decided, is Grand Lake, September 30th to October 2nd, which I believe I want to say there's an open almost that same week or the week after.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough because the lake will be going through like 3 different phases. You're gonna have end of summer pattern, you're gonna have fall pattern, you're gonna have like the turnover.
We were talking to Panger about this, Matt Panger, and he was saying it's depending on the year they have, it could either be 20-pound bags, or it could be straight, a limit's going to get you into the, top 10.
Ugh. Good luck.
But hopefully, with that schedule, I know Andrew and I briefly went over it, gave our subtle picks of what we think is going to happen. I couldn't confidently give you an angler pick of who's going to win because I don't know any of them.
We just don't know.
We don't know at all. But hopefully we get to know them, and hopefully get some people on from the NPFL here on the show soon that can talk to us more in depth about this and more about the tournament trail and for what's to come this year. But I think that's probably going to do it. We'll have to get on like Joel or Greg and talk to them about this coming year.
Yeah. Sorry.
If anyone's got predictions, hot takes, comment down below or reach out on social media. Let us know what you guys think is going to happen next year or this year, I should say. But I think that's about covers what we're going to go over tonight.
Yeah. I'm going to say if you're watching on YouTube, hit the thumbs up, or what we don't like, the thumbs down. Give us some interaction. Hit us up. Subscribe.
If you hated this video, by all means, give us a thumbs down.
The face alone can deserve a thumbs down. So
we need to start doing podcasts like this so that we get more thumbs up. We just don't have a face. It's because we're just too damn ugly that no one likes to see our face. But no, I think that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Not a crazy long episode. Andy and I just wanted to update you guys on what's coming up. We felt like we neglected the NPFL when talking about 2021 schedules. So again, hopefully we can get someone on from the NPFL to talk more in depth about it with us. And obviously we wanted to announce with you guys that we are now partnered up with AFTCO for the 2021 season, and we could not be more happier about that. So huge thank you again to AFTCO. We're looking forward to working with you guys for this season.
Thank you.
And like I said, guys, if you want some AFTCO gear, go down to the link in the description below and get you guys some. You will definitely not regret it. And that's my promise. If you do, I'll punch my face on live stream. I really doubt.
If you do regret it, I'll punch Bailey in the face.
There we go. Through the screen, right? Like the Adam. What is it?
For every thumbs down will just be a punch.
Yeah.
Oh, went the wrong way.
I'm gonna get like 10 thumbs down, dude. Because everyone's gonna want to hit me.
It's gotta be too ugly. It's out. I'm like.
Good God. Before we go on too much more of a rant here, we always appreciate you guys. We're looking forward to. I know we had our New Year's show here, but we're looking forward to taking the show to new heights for this season and carrying on and increasing the fan base here. And obviously, we love to help you guys learn as much as Andrew and I learned from these guests. We're looking forward to see what 2021 brings. So we appreciate it as always. You guys tuning in to watch or listen, depending on whatever platform you're from. And we'll hope to see you guys on Monday Night Live. I think that'll do it. You got anything else for the folks, Andy?
Nah, man.
All right. Have a good night, folks.
Okay.